So as we go through this and looking at Mark again, we're going to turn to Mark chapter 8. And if you have your Bibles, you can turn there. If you don't, it's right there right now. It's there. You can just follow along. But in Mark chapter 8 and verse 22, it says, when they arrived at Bethsaida, some people brought a blind man to Jesus. And they begged him to touch the man and to heal him. Jesus took the man by the hand and led him out of the village. Then spitting on the man's eyes, say, what? I was wondering if y'all were going to do that. No. Spitting on the man's eyes. That's not the Jesus I know. That's not. I've never seen anybody post that on Instagram. Jesus spit on me. Yeah. We like to leave those out. Spitting on the man's eyes. He laid his hands on him and asked, can you see anything now? Like, no, it's all cloudy. You got your spit on me. No. The man looked around and said, yes, I see people, but I can't see them very clearly. They look like trees walking around. Then Jesus placed his hands on the man's eyes again, and his eyes were opened. His sight was completely restored, and he could see everything clearly. Jesus sent him away, saying, don't go back into the village on your way home. I want to preach to you on this thought of to trust the process. That you have to learn to trust the process. This miracle here, it's a couple of things. This miracle is only in the gospel. You'll only find this in the Gospel of Mark, which is kind of strange because Mark's the shortest of the Gospels. It was the first one that was written, and Matthew and Luke pull from Mark's Gospel a lot. So there's repeat miracles that Mark, this is the only place, though, that you'll see this, that this is only in the Gospel of Mark and not in Matthew also and not in Luke also. Not only that, but this is the only time you'll see a miracle take place that Jesus doesn't heal the person instantaneously. This is the only miracle you'll see of Jesus's that it's a process, that there's stages to the miracle, that he sees but he doesn't see clearly. So there's another moment, another step to the miracle of fullness. And this is the only place that you see this happening, but I think Mark is trying to share something with you within this is that sometimes that the miracles don't always work instantly, but God is always working intentionally. He doesn't always work things instantly in your life, but he is always working intentionally in your life to complete the good work that he started within you. And not everything happens just as I thought it would, and not everything happens when I thought it would. Sometimes there's a process within this that takes place. And just because I don't have my complete healing yet, or just because God hasn't finished everything in me yet, just because my family isn't totally restored yet, or all these things that we're hoping for and believing for and have faith for, just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. It's just sometimes it's a process. And I love it when the miracle happens all at once. And I get excited when the miracle happens all at once, but sometimes I have to realize and understand that is a process within my life. And if I can trust him in all of it, even when it doesn't happen when I thought it would or how I thought it would, if I trust him within this whole process, that God will finish that work within me. And you've got to learn to trust the process. You have to trust the process. And notice that the first thing that Jesus does, because they bring this blind man to him, he's came back into this village that he does a lot of his ministries in this village. This is the same village that he calls Peter out of to follow him and several of the disciples. But it's also a village that he speaks in Matthew, he does this woe on Bethsaida. And if I'm not pronouncing that right, don't come to me after. Just go to Abigail. She'll tell you how it's supposed to be pronounced. This is the same village. You have to realize that Jesus gave a woe to. In Matthew, he gave this statement. He said, "Woe to you. If I would have done the works that I did in your place, if I would have done those in Sodom and Gomorrah, they would have turned. They would have repented long ago." So, he's given this warning, and he's already put almost this curse up on this village. And here now he's returned to the village again. And there's people that they bring this blind man to him and saying, hey, we want you to heal him. We want you to heal him. We want to see you do something great in his life. He needs a miracle. And they're excited about it. But notice the first thing that Jesus does, he doesn't heal him at that place, doesn't touch him. He doesn't even spit on him right then. The very first thing he does is it says that he takes him by the hand and he leads him out of the village, out of the place. What I'm trying, sometimes before God can do a work in you, he has to get you out of the place where you got a sickness in the first place. In other words, he has to pull you out of some areas that blinded you in the first place. And some of the things that you want a healing, but you want to remain where you're at. You want to feel better, but you want to stay put. And God say, look, I can't do a work within you unless you let me pull you out of this place where you are. So Jesus takes him by the hand and he leads him out of this area, and he removes him from the environment, from the people, from the places before he performs the miracle within his life. And you can't be healed, listen to me, in the same place that made you sick. And I know you want to be. I know you want it to be easy. But you can't be healed in the same place that made you. You can't hear God clearly around the voices that keep you confused. So God has to pull you out of some places, to pull you out of some environments, to pull you out from some people. And I know you're fighting it, and I know in other words, if you had been the blind man, some of you, he would have literally been dragging you because you wouldn't have been willing to walk with him. I shouldn't have said that. Because we view separation as punishment when really God views it as preparation. And if you realize that he is not separating you from things to punish you, he is separating you from things to prepare you, you look at it a lot different. You're willing to follow him and guide him. You're willing to trust him through the process no matter where he leads you, no matter where he's taking you. And there's something about the separation that brings the preparation in your life. Listen, he'll pull you out of some toxic places. He'll pull you out from distractions. He'll pull you out from environments that affirm your blindness. Come on. He'll pull you out of some areas. If you allow him, if you walk with him, if you'll grab him by the hand and grab hold of him and say, God, where you lead me, I'll trust you. He will pull you out of some places within your life that you shouldn't be in the first place. And he'll pull you out so that real healing can take place. So what I'm telling you is stop fighting the exit God is orchestrating. Quit fighting it. If he's leading you out, it's because he's working on you. If he's leading you out, it's because he's got something better for you. If he's leading you out of something, it is because he's preparing you for what he's getting ready to do within you. So trust the process. Well, let him lead you. Quit staying put. We want the miracle, but we also want to sing, I shall not be moved. And we wonder why God won't work in us. We wonder why God won't move in us because we're not willing to move. Let me move on. You gotta trust the process, though. And God leads him out of this village, away from the people. One of the things he's doing, he's saying, look, I'm not going to do, this isn't going to be a public miracle. This is going to be a private miracle. There's a crowd around. And not everything God does in your life is it for everybody to see. If you'll notice, God does a lot of things in your life that nobody sees. That he'll pull you to some private places and speak to you. He'll pull you to some private spots and deal with you. It's in those private moments that God does his best work. And I know we like the public stage, but God often works in the private stage. He pulls them away from everybody else, and he takes this man out of the village, off to the side. And then it hits me a little different. And he spit on him. He spit on his eyes. And then he touched him. But that spit up on him. That one, it bothered me. I mean, that didn't fit in my Instagram Jesus version right there. Like, my God don't spit. And I was curious. I studied this part out more than I did anything else. I was trying to find some answers. God, why'd you spit on him? I'm pulling out commentaries. Like, maybe somebody was smarter. Maybe you revealed the thing to them. And I just want to read, why did you spit on him? I mean, you healed blind people before, and you didn't spit on them. There's one guy, you spit in some dirt and made some mud and put it on his eyes, and I thought that was odd, but at least it was dirt on his eyes, you didn't just spit on him. But this guy you spit up on. There's another guy. I mean, Jesus went, he'd do some strange things sometimes. There's one time there's this blind guy that couldn't speak, and Jesus gave him a wet willy right there. I mean, put his fingers in his ear and then spit on his hand and touched his tongue. I mean, like that was a little, some of you, your faces right now just at that. And nothing I could come up with sounded a good reason for why he spit on him. I mean, there were some commentaries that they would say, well, back in the day, back around this time period, people kind of believed that there was this, for medical purposes, that spit was a healing agent, and but Jesus didn't need that. I mean, he could just spoke to the blind man. That's not. We know it's, and the commentaries like maybe he spit on him to help the guy's belief. Like, well, that don't really sound that don't really go well with me. I don't think that's it. And the only thing I could come up with is that every time, listen, you might think spit, maybe it was a blessing. No, in all cultures, to be spit upon was not, it was not a term of endearment. It was not a loving gesture to be spit upon. To be spit upon, it was always an offensive act. I mean, when Jesus was going to the cross, what were they doing? They were spitting upon him. It was shame being put upon him. They would spit. Spitting was always this offensive act. And Jesus spits on this blind man, spits on his eyes. You realize some of you, when you follow Christ, not everything he does will be like you thought it should have been done. There's been some times that in reality, he offended me. And I know you're not supposed to say that. That there was some stuff in my life and I took it to him like, God, you got to deal with this. And he says, no, we need to deal with you. And that was offensive to me because I didn't think I had a problem. That he'll do some things in some moments. I'm talking the real Jesus now. That when you're following him, it might be easy to get offended at some areas in your life, but realize when he's doing what he's using right now, what others meant for shame, God means for good. What others meant as a moment of shame upon you, God takes and uses it to restore you. He'll take those things that others place upon you, that spit upon you, that hurt you, that complain, that just bothers you so much. He'll use all of it for his glory, for your healing, for his purpose. And the spitting, though it was offensive, and though it represents rejection and humiliation, but at the same time, he uses it to restore. The same act that humans use to degrade, Jesus uses to restore. The same substance becomes compassion and contempt depending on whose mouth it's coming out of at this moment. And what others used to shame you, what others used to embarrass you, what others used to hurt you, God uses that in that moment to heal you. And if you will allow him, he'll break down some barriers and he'll use whatever he can to heal you in that moment. He spits on the man. What would have been shame for any other thing becomes healing because he will use your pain to become your testimony. He'll use your rejection to become your redirection. He'll use your shame to become your story. So don't reject the method just because it feels uncomfortable. Don't reject what he's doing in your life just because it's not how you planned it. Don't reject the method just because it's new and it hurts. Because sometimes God's process won't look pretty. But I promise you it'll always be powerful. So you got to trust the process. And he spits on the man. An act that would have been offensive. But through Christ it wasn't. It was compassion. It was loving. And he uses this to bring healing to him. And he spits on him and places his hands on him and he pulls it back and he asked him this question. He said, do you see anything? Now, this is an odd moment for this man. This is something we've never seen before, like I said. Normally God touches you. He pulls his hand back and he asks you what you see. You say, I see good. I see clearly. Usually every time. This is the only instance we find that he pulls it back and it's not something that's perfect yet. He can see, but he can't see clearly. He can see, but he doesn't see right. He can see, but not fully. So the man at this moment, he's healed, but he's not healed fully. He's not healed completely. He can see, but he's not there. And I know, listen, this goes back to it, that we get excited and we shout over miracles that happen instantaneously. And we rejoice over the instant miracles, and then we struggle with the gradual ones. And I want you to realize that not every miracle is immediate.
That's good.
Some are progressive. Sometimes it's a process. Don't get discouraged because it hasn't happened completely yet. Trust the process. Because hey, he can see. He just can't see clearly. He can see. Blurry vision is better than no vision. Come on. So we can praise him in the process, because some of us, we're not where we want to be, but we're not where we used to be either. Yeah. And sometimes we got to praise him in the process and knowing that the work he began in me, he will complete within me. That it's a process that happens. Not everything happens right at the moment, just completely how I want it to go. That sometimes it's progression. It's a progressive miracle that takes place within my life, and I've got to trust him in this, that he's still working on me. And there's that tension I think we feel in the process. There's that tension, and that's where we struggle with that tension of, yes, I'm changed, but I'm not changed all the way. You see this in salvation. His grace is instant. His sanctification part's a process in me. He's working on me. And that tension of I want to do what's good and I want to do what's right, but I still have tendencies. And I get upset because I was doing so good and then I messed up. And I just want to throw it all out at times at that moment. Like, I just want to give up. And it's like, no, listen. You're not where you want to be yet, but you're not where you once were. So trust the process within him. I might not see everything clearly, but I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something happening in my life, and I'm going to trust him within this. I might not get the immediate effect that I'm after, but I am getting some effect, and it's working, and I'm going to continue on. And I'm going to trust him that what he started in me, he will complete, because the word says he will. Yes. So I've got to trust this. Not everything does he complete at the beginning. Sometimes he begins a good work in me. Sometimes he begins something within me, and then he completes it later. But I've got to trust him within this process. And can I tell you, here's the requirement of you. You have to first be honest with yourself and honest with him. He had to be honest with God when God said, well, what do you see? He said, well, I see, but I don't see clearly. I see people walking around, but they look like trees walking around. Yeah. And some of us would have just said, praise God, I see, and become a tree hugger. We would have just, I don't know where that came from. I promise you that was not in notes. Might ought to add that in. No. A lot of us would have left and said, well, hey, at least I got something. Some of us would have just said, because we wouldn't want to make Jesus look bad. that would be, no, I see good, everything's right, I'm good. Left, seeing forms that weren't real, blurry. But this man, he was honest within this moment. He told the truth. I see, but I have seen before, because notice his eyes, at the end it said his vision was restored. So that means he once had vision. So he knew what it was once like to have it. And he was honest with Jesus in this moment. He said, I see, but I don't see right. I see, but I don't see clearly. So you've got to be honest, but then can I tell you something else? You've got to be submissive. You've got to be willing to trust God to touch you again. You've got to be willing to trust Him to stay where God led you out of, to stay and let God speak to your heart, to speak to your life, to touch you again in this moment. He stayed in the place for the second touch. Listen, God can't complete what you pretend is already finished. He can't do it. And if you're over there pretending, I'm good, He can't complete the work He started in you. So stop faking clarity in the process. Come on now. Y'all got quiet on me on that one. Stop faking the clarity. Stop faking that everything's good. Stop faking with Him that everything's right, and be honest within this so that He can finish what He started in you. Be honest with God. Be honest with yourself. He tells God when He says, what do you see? I see, but I don't see clearly. So then it says that Jesus touched his eyes again. And I love this because Jesus didn't walk away. He didn't say, well, I tried everything I could. Listen, God doesn't give up. He doesn't throw his hands up. Look, I threw spit at you. I don't even do that to everybody, but I did to you, and that didn't work. I don't know what else to do. No, he touched him again. He touched him again. Listen. He stayed with the man until the work was complete. He stayed there. He stayed there until he saw clearly. Listen, the same Jesus who started the work is committed to finishing the work. If you'll allow him, the same God, he's not going anywhere. If he started something in you, he's faithful to complete it within you. So allow him to touch you again. You got to stay in his hands. You have to remain in the position. You have to trust the process that he's placing in you. Listen, because the completion requires cooperation. It requires it. Too many people, they leave too soon. They give up too soon. They get out of there too soon. They stop. God starts something in you, and it's looking good, and you're going along, and it's looking, and it's starting to come out, and then you see people just leave before he's finished working on you. Don't leave. Don't leave when he's not done with you. Don't walk away mid-miracle in your life. Don't settle for almost healed, almost delivered, almost set free. He almost restored my marriage. He almost. Don't settle for the almost. And there's too many walking around with the incomplete work of Christ, an incomplete work of God. Don't settle for the almost. Stay until it's done. Let him touch you. Don't quit in the middle of your process. won't stop. Jesus touches him a second time, and then he's healed completely. And he says this word to him at the end. After he healed him, I don't know if you caught it. He said, don't go back. Don't go back into the village on your way home. Don't go back. And somebody needs to hear this. Don't go back to what God brought you out of. Don't go back to the same place that Jesus led you out of. Don't go back to the same place that Jesus took your hand and pulled you out and began to work within you. Don't go back to the same place. Listen, deliverance is not complete if you keep returning to what God delivered you from. Don't go back. Don't go back. The village, it represented something. It represents this old mindset. It represents this toxic environment. It represents these relationships. It represents places in your life that normalized that you were blind, places that affirmed where you were at and said it's okay, and you knew something in your heart that it's not okay, that God has something better. Listen, don't go back to that place. Don't go back to the village. Don't go back to what God brought you out of. Because you can't sustain the healing if you revisit the place that made you blind. Come on now. Y'all are quiet on me. It might be because I'm not jumping around or something. I don't know. But you can't keep the healing. You can't sustain the healing if you keep going back to the places that made you sick in the first place. Don't go back to what God brought you out of. Don't go back. Don't play with it. Don't walk. Don't go back. Jesus said, look, you can go home, but you better go around some things. You don't go back through that place that I pulled you out of. You go home. You need to go home. Others need to see what's happening. You need to be there. But don't go back. You go around something. Don't go back to the same place he brought you out of. Don't go back. Don't revisit the same habits. Don't revisit the same conversations. Come on, if he healed you of forgiveness, don't replay the conversation again in your mind. Don't go back to it. Don't go back to it. Don't go back to the environment. Don't go back to the same version of yourself, of your old self. Don't go back to what God pulled you out of. If he brought you out, honor him by staying out. I'm tired of seeing people go back, saying, well, I can handle it now, Pastor. No, you can't. Well, I can dabble in it now. It'll be, no, you can't. That's the stupidest thing you can do. Don't go back. Don't go back to what he brought you out of. Honor him by staying out of it. Don't go back. I want our worship team to come back up. Listen, you can't. If you go back, you'll reverse the process. You go back, you'll reintroduce what God removed in your life. Don't go back. I wanted to end it with something, because if we're not careful, we miss the whole point of the miracles. And this one in particular, if you look at Mark chapter 8, if you look at Mark chapter 8 and you read that whole chapter, you realize there's something that God's trying to speak to the disciples in particular. It starts off, there's this feeding of the 4,000 that takes place. Not the feeding of the 5,000. There was another time he got a big crowd. Feeding of the 4,000. And it's a little bit later, when he's feeding the 4,000, he's really, same thing when he is feeding the 5,000, he's trying to reveal to his disciples who he really is. And they're missing it. Kind of the same thing when he walked on water. He was trying to reveal who he is. And they were kind of, oh, that's what it was. He's trying to reveal something within them, and they're missing this whole point. In fact, if you follow along, there comes this time later that they're talking about this, and they think God's upset with them. They're confused. They think Jesus is upset because they didn't bring enough leftovers of the bread of feeding the 4,000. And Jesus says something to them. He said in verse 17, he said, Jesus knew what they were saying, so he said, why are you arguing about having no bread? Don't you know? Don't you understand even yet? Are your hearts too hard to take it in? And then he used this phrase. He said, you have eyes, but you can't see. Saying, look, y'all are missing this. You have eyes, but you can't hear. I guess that doesn't necessarily go together. You have eyes, but you can't see. You have ears, but you can't hear. You're missing this. And he goes from this conversation with them right into this blind man. And he's wanting to reveal something to him. He's going to use the blind man to represent them. He's saying, look, you are just like this blind man. You have eyes, but you've got no vision. You can't see. And he's showing them this process. He takes them by the hand and he leads them out of some areas of some things. He's showing them this process of having spiritual eyes that can see now. He's showing them using this blind man as the illustration of their own hearts and of their own lives, that they're spiritually blind. They have eyes, but they can't see, and they're missing everything God can do. Listen, God can do miracles in your life, and you still miss it. And that's what he's telling them. Listen, I've done some things, and you're still missing it. You still don't get it. You still don't. You think I'm doing something for you, and I want to do something in you. You're thinking still that it's all about give me, and it's not. It's about provide. It's I want to do something to change you, to heal you, to work in you. That's what I'm wanting. I'm wanting to do something through you even, not just for you. So he pulls him and he's saying, you're just like this man. And he touches him and says, look, there's been some offensive things that have happened. Some other disciples have left. They left because I offended them on some things. And you can see a little bit, but you're not seeing clearly. And if you're just honest with me, I'll touch you again. I'll move in you again. And you see it right after this miracle takes place. This is what Peter says when Christ asks him a question. It's in verse 29. Jesus asked them, he said, who do you say I am? And Peter replied, well, now we know. You just healed this man. My eyes were open like this man. You are the Messiah. All the things he's trying to reveal to them before. And now they get it. What I'm trying to tell you is, listen, the healing of the blind man is what revealed who Jesus is to them. And if you will allow Jesus to complete a work in you and through you, it will show not just you, it will show others who Christ is. Don't stop. Don't stop. somebody else's salvation depends on it. I want you to stand with me.